Hello, my Teaserking family. YouTube worked today. I'm very happy. Apologize for yesterday. I was doing an hour class thinking I was doing it, and then I saw it was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It just happens. I can't tell because I'm talking, but I could see nobody was chatting. Just a second. So, let's talk a little about Russia. So I asked Daria because I see the ruble is up to 106. So $1 buys you 106 rubles. The question is, have you noticed prices going up? Because obviously the ruble's going. Daria, prices have been greatly increased for everything, and the other day they promised to raise prices even more. I'm a little shocked. My response is, I thought they would do that since the ruble's now 106. It used to be 70 or 80. Our prices are going up the same. We'll have to relook at your food budget because food's going to cost her. I says, don't worry, our gold will save the day. Gold never loses value like the monopoly money does. That was my response to her. Don't worry about it. Now we look at gold and it's at 26.39, 26.40. Silver at 30.92. It's all meaningless. This is all you'll have to pay for $20,000 gold. It's pretty good. Now, thinking about everything, I finally figured out the Keynesian mentality, kind of by mistake in the sauna. The Keynesians, the MMT guys, the Rick Rudes, the lawyer guy, they think you can just keep printing the money so you won't run out. I was watching Bill O'Reilly, and he makes the comment, well, these other countries ran out of money, but we can't because we're the reserve currency. And I'm thinking, no country runs out of money because they got the printing press. So if you're China, you just keep printing. If you're London, you can keep printing. If you're Canada. But that doesn't work, does it? Because the value of your dollar goes to zero. That's why you don't run out of money. The money runs out of value. Yeah, I mean, they could kill you in the Nazi Germany in the 1923, with the wheelbarrows. They didn't run out of money. They were printing 1 billion Deutschmarks a day. Didn't help them because it lost value. So it's not that you run out of money, like, oh, you can't print anymore. I mean, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, Bill O'Reilly. It's the value, the money, the more you print the money, it loses the value, not that you run out. What a stupid comment. But that's the Keynesians or MMT people. And that's what we all face, struggling to tell our friends and family to buy gold. They don't believe the dollar will go out of value. And even when you say it, in their minds, what are they saying? Oh, well, we can just we're not going to run out of money. We're the reserve currency. We're the U.S. Why would we run out of money? So I tried to explain it to the guy in the sauna the other day that the dollar is going to zero and gold won't. He says, what are you going to sell your gold at? In fiat. I says, I won't. Gold becomes the money, idiot. Hello, McFly. Is anybody home? Gold becomes the money. The dollar goes to zero. If you keep holding dollars, it goes to zero. If you keep holding gold, it keeps going up. Because then as all the other dollars go out, the demand gets huge and there's very limited supply. But people see this little bullshit game by JP Morgan, gold 26.39, silver 39. Oh, it's not worth anything. It doesn't run like Bitcoin. And that is the problem. People don't see gold rising and they think that they can just keep printing dollars, or we don't have to pay off the debt. Where's that coming from? I mean, if we don't pay our mortgage or our credit cards, we go bankrupt. We might not have to pay it, but we can't borrow anything ever again, or for 7 years. So I don't really get these people. They're clearly clueless. We just won't pay the debt off and everything will be fine. In what world are you not going to pay off the debt and everything is going to be fine? You're bankrupt. You can't afford to buy anything. Nobody will buy your treasuries ever again. Nobody trusts you now with 36 trillion in debt. So that was an enlightenment for me, figuring out finally that these guys think we can just keep printing and it won't matter. And we know the more you print, the less it's worth. It's already gone 99%, but they can't find it. I even bring up, well, Pepsi was 10 cents in 1971, is now $3. What was that? Well, they raised price. I mean, no, the dollars, that's the dollar lost value. But this is why you can't use prices as a way to measure inflation, because wait a minute, a house went from 25,000 to 500,000. A car went from 3,000 to 40 grand, let's say. So there's different percentages that these things have went up, as they would. So that's why you can't use prices, but you just know there's 160 trillion out there. You got a $36 trillion debt. You're basically fucked. Any way you want to look at it, you're basically fucked. Anyway, so I came up with that one. I guess they're trying to get a ceasefire or peace or end the war. Trump probably stepped in and said, Zelensky, you're ending the war now. Okay. Because Trump's doing a lot of stuff even though he's not in office, which is really strange. Trying to do shit at the border. This whole tariff thing is a joke. You think they're going to listen to Trump? Oh, we're going to tariff you. We don't want to do business with you. Your money is worthless. We don't want U.S. dollars. This is where Trump loses it. He doesn't get it. Okay. Now, I was trying to do this yesterday, and we will redo it. All right. I went. 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 7-2, 8-2. I went 9-2 in the pros last week. 13-1 in college. That's a 22-3 record. Pretty fucking good. And I went 6-1, 5 locks in college, 5-0, 2 in the pros, 6-1. Not fucking bad. Joe Burrow comes through for me. I can always trust them to go over. I'm a bit surprised. Well, not really. I mean, Lamar, him in a big game. Jesus Christ. And it really came down to the guy who missed 2 field goals and an extra point, Tucker, or just hit the extra point and we win. How do you fucking miss an extra point? And that's what I don't like, why they're 30 yards away. They should be at the 2-yard line and kick your extra point. We hit Buffalo, and then last night we hit Denver. Oh, they won like 42, 30 something, 31 or something. So we'll go through it. We had Detroit. Big lead. Bears can't even get a first down. Caleb's like 0 for 12 for 5 yards. No first downs in the first half, and then everybody gets injured on the Lions. And keep in mind, the Lions play Thursday, and they're all banged up against Green Bay, and they're favored, okay? We'll talk about this week in a minute. So we lose on that, although Titus pushes on it. I lose on it. Green Bay, Miami, I go over 41's a winner. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, the lock, I go over 40. And they score 80 points. So I think I won that one pretty good. In New England, I go over 42. They play a 49. Washington, Tennessee, I go over 44. They win 42-19, Washington. Minnesota, 25-3 in a teaser. Now 26-3 in a teaser. I have them plus 2.5. They win 23-22. San Diego, I should have locked them. With laying 1 to Atlanta, they win 17-13. So we had 4 points, and they win by 4. Tampa Bay, Carolina, we go over because we don't know. Steve Young looks good. Who the fuck knows? I think it's because they had him. Thielen's back. And Tampa wins 26-23. We go over 40. There's a 49 there. A lot of action in the last minute. LA, New Orleans, we go over 42, and it's like 6-0 at half. And then finally they start scoring, and it's LA wins 21-14. Taysom Hill breaks his leg or something. He's out for the year, unfortunately. Feel bad, or it's knee, ACL, MCL. Philly, Baltimore, our lock. Over 44, they play a 43. It's like unfucking believable to lose by 1 point, and one of the best kickers in the league misses a fucking extra point and 2 field goals that weren't that far to cost us. Now, we did get a touchdown near the end of the game with a minute left to go from 12-19. So had he kicked all his points, then it would have been 24-19, and would we have gotten that late touchdown? I doubt it. This is probably where the score would have been because they were just kind of letting them walk down the field. Buffalo, 35-10. We got Buffalo even. And Denver, we got even. They win 42-31. Winston with 4 picks and 2 pick sixes. Got to love that Winston guy. So that was last week. We had a spectacular college, we said. I thought I was pretty clear. I took Ohio State under. I know we had somebody take Ohio State. I did call it a triple revenge, but I never said I was taking them, just that it was a revenge. I did revenge. Arizona State was a revenge. That was a lock. And Oregon against Washington, that was a revenge. But Ohio State was a revenge, but was never played as a revenge. We played it under because Michigan with no offense and a good defense, in Ohio State, okay offense and a really good defense. So we ended up going under 49. So I apologize if you thought I was playing Ohio State. Just email me. I never took Ohio State. I thought the line was too high. And I'm glad it was because I went under instead, and I won instead of losing. But that was the way the week was. Even the games I didn't play, Florida over Florida State, I loved it. And it went up to 16, and I said, it's a bit much for Florida, and they killed them anyway. Texas State wins. UTSA wins. Everybody won. It was happy times. Oregon, Indiana, 66-0. it's the same plays I play every week. They just happen to all hit. It's the same theory and logic I use to pick every game. I'm looking for strength. I'm looking for weakness. It just happened to come in, and then certain teams needed the game to win. I didn't play Vegas, and I liked Vegas. I did hit New Mexico. That was the late game, and I said, go New Mexico over if you need a game at midnight. And they did go over. I did play them. So it was just a great Thanksgiving weekend. The Lions blowing the lead, I was a little surprised in. But otherwise, the Rams were a very small play. Philly was a big play, but that was just one. I hit every other lock. So locks were very positive this week. So now you think, oh, he's going to run the table again. You can't play me like that. You just keep playing me. Some of these people play 1 week and then I don't hear from them. Then I run the table and then they come back and you're like, well, you got to play every week. You can't play 1 week. And don't ask for free picks. This is a service that I want a fair trade. So I want so much money for my picks. You're getting my picks. You're going to make money. I sell my picks, so that now if you're like Titus and you win and you tip me, then that you're paying for the service. That's fine. But other people who just want, we're going to listen to you. Oh, you're going to make us money. We're not going to pay you. And if we win, we're not going to tip you. What is that? What is this? This is how you treat the professor? It's frustrating because the more we talk about economics, we talk about fair trades and free trades. So a fair trade for me is you give me $75 and you get the locks. And then you win, and I don't ask you how much you win. And if you win a lot and you want to tip me, that's fine. If you don't, you don't have to. But you should pay for the picks. You're getting a service. The fair trade is 77 locks, nothing locks. And then if I win, no tip. That's just kind of rude and disrespectful. I really don't like that. I don't understand people like that, especially that have been here a while. I'm very nice and helpful and try to, make us all money. But I don't really appreciate that. I think that's wrong. That's kind of like shoplifting. You go into the store and you steal apples, and no, you pay for them. So, this is why I very slack at giving too much information out. I know what I'm doing. I know when I'm helping out, and I know when I'm just saying, here's the line. You figure it out. So we need fair trade here. We are not communists. As the Godfather would say in that meeting of the five families. We don't need guarantees like lawyers, like attorneys. If I'm giving you information and it's making you money, I've never heard where you don't, pay for it. So unless you want me to just shut the fuck up and just say, here's the line, I'll do that if that's how you want it. But I think it's just rude to not do that or give me your picks for nothing. What is that? What is that? What kind of crap is that? Do you go to an attorney? Hey, help me out, but I won't pay you, or CPA, do my taxes? No, I'm not going to pay you. I'm doing the work. I'm helping you. No, I'm not going to pay you. It's just wrong, and I don't appreciate it. I know what I'm doing, and I know what you're doing, and I don't like it. Okay, because that's kind of disrespectful to me. Excuse me. So that's what being stoic is. You say what's on your mind. You don't hold it back. You're not getting respected, so you say it. That's what stoic is. You don't you don't not say something and then just do something. You say it. If somebody treats you rude or disrespects you, that's what I did with Jenna. She disrespected me, so goodbye, Jenna. I get there, yeah. So now that I got that clear, let's go through the pros. Don't ever think I don't know what's going on, because I do. All right, Detroit, 3.5, 51.5. I haven't marked in my things yet, but I pretty much have an idea. Detroit, I know, is probably an over now with all the injuries to the defense. Although statistically, they're still good defensively. Green Bay, probably a B team, maybe, what were they last week? Let's assume the same right for now. They were a B team with a 20 defense. Yeah, so they're still a B team. So they're a B. And Detroit was probably an A 17 defense. So they're probably well, they only gave up 20 to the Bears. So they're still a 17. So that hasn't changed. But they got a lot of injuries. So you got to read into that. There's a lot of injuries there. That's your Thursday night game. They both played Thursday, Thanksgiving, which really sucks because they're used to playing Sunday. Why there's Thursday night games, I have no idea. It fucks up the players. You don't want injuries, but this causes injuries this short week. Now, granted, this is not a short week, but last week was a short week. The Lions lost, 10 players because it was a short week and they all got injured because they were all injured before. Plus, they don't play them in preseason, which doesn't help them. Packers look good. Now, this is the Packers lost, but Jordan Love had a pulled groin in the rain, and he couldn't really play. Now you're going to get him indoors. This should be a real good game. The idiots here on Detroit radio, Detroit's going to go 15-1, and they're going to get in the Super Bowl, and they'll have the 1 seed. And you're like, they're going to lose to Green Bay, they're going to lose to Minnesota, they're going to lose to Buffalo. They'll be lucky to win a playoff game without a defense. And Jared Goff always chokes in the playoffs like he did last year. So we'll see. I think Minnesota ends up winning the division, and Philadelphia will be the 1 seed, and Minnie will win, and Detroit will be a wild card. I mean, Detroit, it's who they are. Hey, Todd, which one do I click on to purchase bowl games? Well, I don't have them out yet. They'll be out. Well, we got to wait for this week because this week we have we got the conference championships, and then after that, it's just Army Navy. So I'll change it because what I normally do is change my one of my college tabs. Like we don't need the whole season anymore. So I changed that to bowls. So figure after this week, I'll change it. You can send me 100 and I can give you the password, what it'll be. Because it's there. So you can do that as opposed to just buying it anyway. So just send me 100 on PayPal and I'll get you the password. Minnesota, 5.5, 45.5 to Atlanta. It's all 5.5s. Minnesota, as we know, is now 26-3 in a teaser. I got to check injuries and everything else. The injuries come out on Wednesday, really, because now I'm getting last week, so they're useless. But I will get next week. So again, Detroit's in a dome, Minnesota's in a dome. Most of these are in domes, so you don't worry about it. We got 6 teams off this week. It's crazy. I don't like what they did because they had to play 13 weeks, like Denver and a few other teams haven't had a bye yet. It's kind of, and then you have 6 teams on a bye. Denver still won. Now they get a bye. This probably worked out best because Bo Nix got into a rhythm. So Minnesota, 5.5, 45.5. Atlanta, Kirk Cousins, Kirk choke. Minnesota, they're like, oh, he played for Minnesota. Oh, yeah, what's the difference? He sucks anyway. When Darnold's better than Kirk Cousins, when are they going to go to Penix already? I was hoping Cousins would have got hurt so Penix would get in, but how many games do you want to lose till you bring in Penix and then he wins all the games? You go, shit, if we'd have brought him in earlier, we would have made the playoffs. Excuse me. I got an almond stuck in my throat or something. I go to bed yesterday. Everything's fine. I wake up. I start sneezing. Excuse me. The more I drink, the more I cough. All right. So if Penix was in, he's at least 10 times better than Cousins, because Cousins was nothing in college. Penix beat Oregon twice in Texas. I really don't know what the problem is. He's not injured unless he doesn't know the playbook, which would be surprising. I know you got a bad coach in Atlanta who's obviously an idiot, but we'll see. You're welcome, Todd. And the bowls will include the playoffs, of course. So Minnie's on a roll. They got a great defense, and Darnold and Jefferson and the other receivers and Aaron Jones, but they're just the better team. So I'd be getting I don't get why you are so in love with, because, like, what has he done? I don't know why the Minnesota brought in Daniel Jones unless they want to use him as like a wide receiver or something. He's certainly not a quarterback unless they're going to run like Fields, where they run a little pass, a little option play with him. That's all he's good for. He's not a quarterback. New Orleans, 4.5, 40.5. Now, we know Taysom Hill is out, ACL or whatever. The Giants, what was it? It was Locke, I think. I don't even think Danny DeVito played against Carr. They lost to the Rams, and they got Olavi played, I believe, and Kamara, I know he played. I saw his stats. So I don't know. New Orleans, bad coaching all over the league. They're favored on the road. I don't know. Can they be favored on the road? Very inconsistent team. The Giants, no quarterback. Thibodeau, I think, so. The one guy they got Neighbors, the wide receiver from LSU. Funny how all the LSU receivers are very good and all the Alabama receivers suck. Funny how that is. Tennessee, 439.5 to Jacksonville. Where is it? Okay, so Tennessee, still a few 3.5s. 39.5. Tennessee, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence, what a crybaby. He tries to get an extra yard, and then the guy hits him, and they're calling it a cheap shot, which it isn't. It's football. It's what they always do. It's part of football is to get the quarterback out. It was a clean shot. All these things. He's got his head down. He's tackling the guy, and the guy goes into a slide last second. I think you should have penalized Lawrence. I'm sorry. These little crybabies. Oh, he heard, give him a 3-game suspension. Are you out of your mind? A 3-game suspension for making a tackle? This whole head thing and this whole sliding thing is such bullshit. So the quarterback at the end sees he's going to get tackled. He goes to slide. Of course, he's going to get hit. and he's doing it to get the penalty. Only this time, Lawrence did it a little late, and the guy who hit him is a little bit stronger. So he needs to take the slide much quicker. You can't wait when this guy's barreling down at you. What was he going to stop? This is totally ridiculous. The kickoff is totally ridiculous. This sport's becoming crazy. I heard something on baseball. Like, you can, once a game, bat anybody you want, anytime you want them, but only one time. So if you have Mickey Mantle and you're getting near the 8th or 9th, I don't know when, you can, even though he bats third, you can bat him again. You can bat him twice or something. I mean, what the fuck is that? That's as stupid as the runner starting from second base. Now we're going to play women's softball, where when we get to the extra innings, the guy gets on second. Even in the World Series and the playoffs, they're doing this shit. That's not baseball. You got to get yourself on. You just can't get on. Why are you changing this? Just to change it? Or is it just like football, where now it's the line to gain instead of the first down line? A lot of politics being played here. This is very communistic. Changing names and then doing this bullshit, making these changes are very, very bad. They're not good. There's no reason to change them. The line, the game. What the fuck was that about? Jesus. All right. So I don't know. Jacksonville, Tennessee. We got to see who the quarterback is. Lawrence had a bad shoulder before, so why is he sliding late? Obviously, the shoulder was shot up, but it's the left shoulder. He throws right-handed. He sucks. There's so many wasted first-round draft picks. It's unbelievable. We'll go through those. Anyway, Tennessee at home. I don't know. Jacksonville's terrible. Tennessee's nothing to. Tennessee can't be favored in a game, so it makes it really difficult in this spot because Jacksonville's terrible also. Morning, Luke. Trump played his "you better not" against bricks chess move. Yeah, and when they stop laughing, they don't want to deal with the U.S. because our dollar is worthless. I don't want the U.S. dollar. I prefer gold and silver. What do? I become Rumpelstiltskin, and as soon as I get paid, I go to the bank, take the money, go buy gold and silver. I don't want the U.S. dollar. Believe me, China is trading with Russia and India and Saudi Arabia and all these guys, and Brazil. They signed a pact with Brazil. They don't need the U.S. to get this shit money. You missed my dissertation in the beginning. The Keynesians believe you can just keep printing the money. It doesn't matter. And us Austrians know if you keep printing, it becomes worthless. That's why all these countries go out, because the people in charge go, oh, we can just keep printing the money. It won't have any effect on it. And we're going, what are you doing? It's going to drive the value to zero, which is what happened in Germany. Why needed a fucking wheelbarrow. I mean, the people in charge are always Keynesians, which is George Soros, and they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they end up blowing up the country that is dependent on the money printing, and you end up blowing them up. And that's what's happened to every country in the history of time. We go back to the Romans. You keep printing, it's worthless, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't. Well, Caesar wouldn't let it happen. No, I mean, he wouldn't let him go bankrupt. No, it's not up to Caesar. It's the market, right? Nobody wants the dollar. Why would they? Todd, golden bat rule. Yeah, but the whole thing, why do you need it? Is it going to make the game better? I don't think so. What's the advantage of it? You get the star player up, so he's going to bat third, he's going to bat ninth once a game? That's bullshit. The whole point of baseball is you got 9 guys, or the DH, 9 hitters, and they hit in order, and that's it. Pretty soon it'll be like basketball. Oh, if you pull the pitcher for the center field, the pitcher can come back in and play. I mean, that's It's so stupid. It's not needed. They're doing a change to make a change. It's I don't know how anybody can watch baseball now anyway with this start at second base and the extra innings. They're trying to hurry up to finish the game because the game's so bad. Nobody wants it. But how many commercials can we throw in there in the between innings? What are we up to 5 minutes now? And then they wonder why the time of the games are so long. Luke, need to blow. The banks will be screwed. Oh, needs to blow. Okay. Well, the stock market's going to, everything in dollars is going to crash. That's why I give you a hard time about Bitcoin. It's in dollars. You can say Bitcoin's a Bitcoin is a Bitcoin, but it's not, it's nothing. It's not real. And that's what I keep trying to say. Now, I do gamble, but I don't, Bitcoin's not real. I'll go play poker. And if I start with $500 and I get to 2,000, I will then not lose it back. And if I start losing, I'm now up 1,800. I get up and I leave. I quit a winner because I know it's just a matter of time. And you can't say Bitcoin is just going to go up. It's all the ETFs that have made it go up. And we know who runs those, Larry Fink. So we know there's a lot more than 21 million Bitcoins now, because if he's doing derivatives, he's doing ETFs. Now, again, an ETF is they're valuing one Bitcoin and 10,000 people own that one Bitcoin, which obviously is impossible. That's what they do with gold and silver. That's why silver hasn't moved, because of these stupid ETFs and the derivatives, mostly the derivatives. But that's why you don't own the derivative, you own the physical. All right. It'll blow. All right. Tampa Bay, 6.5, 46 over Oakland. Mayfield's injured. I don't know how serious. Oakland, you're already dealing with O'Connell because Minshew's out. You don't have Devontae Adams. They played a good defensive game with Kansas City, but the week before, Denver put up 29 on them. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm loving Denver, and I'm loving whatchamacallit, the coach. I can see him. I can't. I can see him, but I can't name him. I always have problems with him, but the good coach, they're explosive. Kansas City's losing something. They're just not the same. Maybe they're a little tired because they went to three Super Bowls in 4 years. Anyway, Tampa should, but you got to watch out for Mayfield. Although Trask is very good, as you'll see if he plays. Oakland, I don't know. Terrible coach. The players like him. Well, that's the first reason you don't hire him. All right, Pitt, 6.5, 44 to Cleveland. Interesting there. Can one of these teams finally beat Cleveland in the division? They beat, didn't Cleveland beat Baltimore? Yeah, they beat Pittsburgh on that Thursday night. Little revenge here. Pitt's the A team. They're chasing Buffalo and Kansas City for the 1 seed. Buffalo's got to play at Detroit, not this week, but the following week. Pittsburgh's playing good. Russell Wilson looks good. The defense looks good. And Winston's good for 2 or 3 picks a game. And apparently they're pick sixes. So we'll see what happens. But Pitt's the A team. I think Cleveland's a W. They were a W yesterday. They gave up 42. So their 24 defense is probably a 27. But see, this is where it's tricky because of the pick sixes. The defense didn't really let up 14 points. And I think he threw 4 interceptions. So where did they start the other drives? So it's not always the defense's fault, just like it's not always the quarterback's fault when he throws an interception because the receiver didn't run the right route. It's not always the defensive fault when the quarterback's throwing pick sixes and the 14 points looks like it's your defense sucks. No. We got a quarterback that is colorblind. He can't tell what team he is. Luke, what's up with Baltimore Tucker? I'll take it. Boswell has been incredible. Tucker, man, I mean, you gotta bench him. I mean, he misses an extra point and two pretty close field goals. Now it becomes mental, and if you're fucked as a kicker, you're fucked. I don't care how strong his leg is. He can't. I would. Yeah, I know he's been great, but I remember Philadelphia had that great kicker, and then they cut him, and then he went to Chicago, I think, and then Robbie Gould was at the Niners, and then he got the yips, and he went to the Bears. So the kickers go through this where all of a sudden it's a mental thing. So yeah, I'd sit him out. Yeah, Boswell is great. He's the best, I think, now. Do you bet on kickers? I'm not aware you can bet on kickers, but I guess you can. But I don't play props. I look at it, I figure out the game, and then I tease it up, and then that's it. I bet on the game itself. Russell Wilson's best game as a Steeler. He looks superb. Oh, absolutely. I never doubted it. Sean Payton, that's the Denver coach. I never doubted it. I don't know why it didn't work out in Denver. I think there was I think Sean Payton wanted to run a certain offense that they didn't. Russell Wilson wasn't comfortable with. Pittsburgh's running it, and I think that's what happened. So Pittsburgh gets a freebie, and they're not paying him anything, so they can still have this great defense, good running, good receiving, and and TJ Watt, and you don't pay Russell Wilson anything. And there you go, Fields. Bye-bye. Roethlisberger said that they should make Fields a wide receiver just to put him out there so they got to cover him, or he can run, an option pass, or, one of these throw it to him and he throws it back to Wilson, or maybe he actually goes out, catches the ball, and he's hard to tackle. He probably would be a good tight end. That's Roethlisberger. I agree with it. I think Lamar's not a quarterback. He proved that again. He should be a wide receiver. He's fast. He's not a quarterback. It's again, are we the only people that can clearly see what the fuck's going on? And everybody else is just like in a day, like Kirk Cousins. Why isn't Penix the starter? Why, I'm going to say with Goff, why isn't Hooker the starter? He's much better. It's a gimmicky offense the Lions have, and Hooker's so much better. He's more mobile than Goff. He's got a better arm. He's more accurate. So I don't know. Goff I saw in college, he sucked, and we saw him on the Rams. He sucked. So what are we seeing? What is there that they're looking at that thinks he's any good? Luke, Pat McAfee was talking about the holds on the kicks, maybe the punter's fault. I don't know about that. The ball's just sitting there. It's like golf. I mean, Cordell Stewart and Fields. Yeah. How about Hines Ward? And Anton Randall L. I mean, all that. Pittsburgh's done that a lot where they draft quarterbacks and make them receivers, and they do very well. They're the only ones who can think outside the box, Pittsburgh. All these other teams, and I love Detroit. They keep playing. That's why I made that Alabama comment. They keep drafting people from Alabama, but all the good players are from LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, not Alabama. All right, so Pitt, 6.5, 43.5. An A team playing a W team. Philly, 12.5, 46 to Carolina. This is an interesting one. It's a big number, but the way Philly's playing, I just don't see Carolina putting up many points. And I don't see Carolina has got their defense is I haven't had a chance to do it's a 31 defense. They gave up 26. So it's a 31 defense. So Barkley and those guys should, be able to score. The question is, here's the problem. Superficially, Philly, Carolina are going to kill them. Philly just played a big game with Baltimore. Now, how are they going to play Carolina? How do you get up for Carolina after you just beat Baltimore? And that's the problem. However, they are going for the 1 seed with Detroit, so they really can't afford to lose. So I think they'll be okay, but that's what you get. And then if they're up by 10, this is why we play teasers. They'll win by 10. They don't need to win by 20. I think they run it up on them, and I think they beat them by 20, but they don't need to. But the way they've been playing, they killed Cincinnati, so Carolina doesn't have much of a chance here. Miami 6.5, 45.5 to the JETSs. Miami's a pretty good home favorite. The Jets, I don't know. I don't know. It's just such turmoil. Although the Jets are a good play against team, so I think Miami at home should get the win. We got Arizona and Seattle. Arizona 2.5, 44.5. I don't know what to do with this game. They played in Seattle 2 weeks ago. Seattle won 16-6. Now they're playing in Arizona. What, Arizona's going to score 30 points against the same team? This is where you kind of struggle because you're expecting another 16-6 game. I mean, why would this game be much different? So I don't know. I think Seattle is a good dog here, but we got to check injuries. Arizona, I don't know. Kyler Murray runs, and that's it. Todd, Professor, do you think 49ers are done for the year with all the injuries? They've been done for a while. Even with McCaffrey back, they didn't do anything. Purdy played, but I know he's hurt. And you lost McCaffrey again. Mathematically, they're in. I think you get burned out. You go to the Super Bowl, I think, 2 or 3 times in the last 3 or 4 years. And I just think playing all those extra games and getting emotional and losing takes a toll. The loser of the Super Bowl always struggles the next year. I think they've been done. I think they're just kind of going through the motions. I mean, they don't have the killer defense. I think Shanahan sucks as a coach, and Purdy's okay, but now he doesn't have McCaffrey. Okay, they got back. They can play okay, but I don't trust them. When would I take Buffalo over the Niners even -6? I'd have been Niners +12 all day in a lock. But what did I do? I took Buffalo even, and Buffalo wins by 25 points. So, I think Frisco's done. This is why I say what's Frisco? Frisco is now an E team with a 24 defense. Well, Frisco's always a 17. They're always like a 17, 18 defense. They were 24, and now it's probably 25. Yeah, I mean, they're just not too many injuries. And that's what I'm saying with the Lions. You've got too many injuries. The team that's healthy versus the team where you're putting up third and fourth stringers. Look what Caleb did to the fourth string of Detroit. Well, Love's going to do, more damage. So that's what you look at. It's not the same team. It's injured. Even when the guy gets traded, Russell Wilson, Seattle's not the same team. Pitt's not the same team with Russell Wilson. And Peyton Manning went to Denver, and then Brady went to Tampa. So, you get those little things, and the same with the injuries. So this Niner team is not a playoff team. Right, so keep that in mind. You must plug in the injuries. All right. Arizona. Okay, so that's that. The Rams in Buffalo, in LA. Buffalo 4.5, 49. I don't know. LA struggled and finally got 21 on New Orleans. Buffalo at home kills the Niners in the snow. Now they got to go to the Rams, and I'm just waiting for Josh Allen to get hurt. He keeps running. He doesn't slide. Although he's probably better for not sliding, as we saw Trevor Lawrence fuck around and late slide and get the shit beat out of them. So maybe it's better to just take the hit like Josh Allen does. This is tough. This is not Buffalo's forte, being a road favorite. The Rams, they're always dangerous with Puka, Cooper Kupp, Stafford. Their defense isn't that good. So I don't know. I got to think on this game. I won't easily take Buffalo even in this game, but I don't like the Rams in 10.5 against Buffalo. So I got to really research it, and we'll check the injuries. Here are the Niners, 444 to the Bears. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Bears have a very good defense. Holding Detroit to all those field goals is not a fluke. It's the way the Bears play a good defense, especially in the red zone. The Niners, I don't know. Are the Bears a live dog with Caleb? I don't know. But the thing is that I'm noticing Drake May throws the ball 50 times. Caleb throws the ball 50 times now. What the fuck's going on? They're not even running. They're just using that. They're trying to copy Joe Montana, where his running plays were these quick outs to the running backs. But that was Bill Walsh. These guys don't know what they're doing. So they're basically throwing the ball 50 times, 5 yards a pass, and going that way with it. And it's, I don't know. Can we trust Caleb? No, but the Niners are so beaten up. Can they be a favorite? So I don't know. The Bears, probably a good defensive team, and I don't know. And here's the problem. They have these 3 receivers. He's lucky to hit any of them. Keenan Allen seems to be the guy who can run a really strange route and get open because he jukes around. So it's like you can't cover him. That's it. The other 2 are just, I don't know what they're there for. So the Bears now, they changed to the offensive coordinator. Now he's the head coach. Well, that's a problem. Can he even be an offensive coordinator? I never heard of the guy. And now he's the head coach and everybody likes him because what? I don't know. There's a lot of we don't knows on the Bears. Now the Euphelis guy, how they hired him, I don't know. Why they didn't fire the GM who drafted Pickett and then Mitch Trubisky and then Fields and now Caleb. Why has he got his job? Or maybe he does. Maybe it's a new guy. Good game of the day. Kansas City 4-43 to San Diego. Kansas City's not played well, but winning. San Diego lost, I think it was 17-10 a couple weeks ago in San Diego. Yeah, I mean San Diego is pretty good defense. 43. I don't think they'll score that much. KC does still have a good defense, and the way their offense is playing, the way San Diego's defense, this is not going to be a lot of points, I don't think. What's up with gold? It's the best to have. What do you mean? What's up with it? I don't get your question. Cincinnati 5.5, 49.5 to Dallas. They're much better with Cooper Kupp Cooper Rush than they were with Dak. I mean, they beat. What did they beat? Washington. They put up a lot of points. Led a lot of points last week against the Giants. So they're scoring. We know Cincinnati. Joe Burrow will have a field day. So this is an interesting. It's probably my favorite game of the weekend. So that is the pros. I will update my stats because, again, we had Monday night. And we will see. Christmas is right around the corner, December 3rd. So it's a few weeks away. We got, what are we at? Week 14. What do we play? 18 weeks now because there's the bye. We got 5 more weeks of pros. It's insane. As everybody's getting injured, but we won't have a kickoff, so nobody will get injured. But we'll play games on Thursday and Friday. So we'll make sure that if they don't get injured on the kickoff, they'll get injured on the short week. You cannot play football Sunday and then come back Thursday. It's impossible. It's stupid. Oh, you're making money. Yeah, but it's all inflated anyway. It's bullshit. All right. Oops. So that's pros. Let's go to college. Pros I'll look at more tonight. I think I already know what I'm doing with the Lions game Thursday night. Pretty easy pick, I think. All right, we got 3 games Friday. We got 6 games Saturday, and I even included where they're playing. So our first game is Jacksonville State 3.5, 57.5 to Western Kentucky. This was 4.5. It's already down. The Sharps are already on it. This game's in Alabama. Jacksonville State's Florida, and Western Kentucky, I think, is Kentucky. So this is a neutral field. I got Western Kentucky now. The college I did update. Western Kentucky's a B team with the 22, and Jacksonville State's an over with the 27. And I looked at this, and because they're both Conference USA, half the teams they play were Z teams. There's 4 Z teams in Conference USA, and the Southern Miss and the Middle Tennessee State and all that, Kennesaw State. And, they both beat them, but they haven't really beat anybody. I think somebody beat Lou Lafayette or something. So again, they just played last week. Western Kentucky was the dog and won. So I don't know. And that game, I think, was at Jacksonville State. Tulane and Army. This is a good game. Tulane is about, this is 6, now back down to 5. You can get a 5.5. And total of 46. Both teams are A. Tulane an 18 defense, Army a 15 defense. So everybody looks good until they play Notre Dame, and then they don't look good. I thought Army would give them a better game, but there I took the under. I didn't take Army in the points. This should be a good game. The game is in Army. It's in New York, so kind of weird how they give a championship game and it's a home field. But Army, it's at Army. Boise and Vegas. Boise is 458.5. This game is in Boise on the blue turf. Vegas an A team, 22 defense. Boise a B team, 23 defense. Vegas scores more than Boise. They played. Boise won the game by 5 the first time. I think it was at Boise. So we got Vegas. This should be a good game. Vegas is a very good team. Boise, they got the runner, Gentry, and he got 270 yards last week, but what was the final? I mean, Boise. I forgot where they were in my list. Oh, maybe it was Friday. Yeah, they played Oregon State. They won 34-18. Vegas is a good. Vegas killed Nevada by 20. So, championship game, little choking, Gentry overrun. Vegas got them the first time. They were all on them, so we'll see. Miami of Ohio and Ohio. Miami of Ohio, 2.5, 44.5. Both these teams are under teams. Ohio with an 18 defense, Miami of Ohio with a 17 defense, and I think they just played each other last week. No, Miami had Bowling Green. They have played each other. I think it was a tight game. This game is in Detroit. So, again, a neutral field. Okay. Arizona State and Iowa State, and this game is in Dallas at the Jerry World, which probably helps Iowa State more because Arizona State were with the desert, right? So 2.5, and let's call it 50.5. Iowa State's an A team, beat Kansas State. Anytime you do that, that's good. The only game they really got lost to was Kansas, who joined the crowd. Arizona State's an A team. They're both A teams, both 21 defenses. Probably a dog game, I would think. Scatterboo's good, and Arizona State's much better this year. But the reason BYU's not in here is because Arizona State beat BYU. I don't think Iowa State played them, but anyways, that's because I was like, "Where's BYU?" Because they won last week. They beat who did they beat? They beat somebody. God, what? Where's my memory at? BYU. Was that a Friday game too? No, that was UCF. BYU's in here somewhere. Oh, here they beat Houston 30-18. So they didn't lose, but they lost to Arizona State the week before by 5, and that was good. So this should be a very good game. And again, it's in Dallas, which really hurts Arizona State because they're a grass team in the desert. Now they got to play on turf in Dallas. My boys, Texas 2.5, 49.5 to Georgia. You got to be kidding. Georgia beat them 30-15. We all know all these teams. Both are A teams. 20 defense, Georgia, 11 for Texas. But when Georgia will kill Ewers, and they'll have to run on them. With good luck that. And Georgia with Beck, they just know how to win. Even when they lost to Alabama, they were down 30 and they came back and took the lead with 2 minutes left. So you can't count Georgia out in a big game. Texas hasn't been there. They were there last year. Oh yeah, they lost to Washington. So go Georgia. And this game is in Atlanta at the Mercedes Dome, which in favor of Georgia. Lou Lafayette, this is Sunbelt, 5.5, 56.5 to Marshall. Marshall's been playing very well. Lou Lafayette's always good. Lou Lafayette, A team, 22 defense. Marshall, a little bit less, a B with the 25 defense. And the game is at Lou Lafayette, but their quarterback's out, I believe. Lou Lafayette's quarterback's out. So the backup did play a little, but not as good as their first quarterback. So, again, that's at Lou Lafayette. It's a good game, and I think Marshall could be a live dog. Lou Lafayette, they're a very good team now. I mean, you can't fuck with Lou Lafayette. How about Penn State and Oregon? Playing at Penn State? What's up with that? They're not playing at Penn State. Oregon, 3.5 and 49.5. This game's in Indiana. It's at the Indianapolis at the Dome. It's where they always play it. Both teams are A teams, but there's a big difference in Oregon's A and Penn State's A. Penn State with a 14 defense. They haven't seen Oregon yet. Now they did go to the West Coast and play USC and got lucky to win. SC was like 33-30. Oregon, I don't understand this spread. My spread on the game's 10. How is this 3.5? Okay, granted it's in Indy, but it's 3.5. Why did you think this game was in Penn State? Yeah, BYU beat Houston last week. If we're talking college, pro, I don't know. See, they beat Houston. I assume you meant BYU, but if it's not that, then would it help me clear it up? Oregon's much better than Penn State. I mean, they'll win by 2 touchdowns. SMU 2.5, 56.5. SMU. This game is in North Carolina because it's an ACC game. So it kind of benefits Clemson. It's close, and SMU's Dallas, but SMU is much the better team. And again, it's a 2.5. They're an A team with a 20 defense, and Clemson's a B team with a 23 defense. My line was SMU -7. They are playing great. Switch quarterbacks. They're basically running it down your throat, and they have a monster defense. And Clemson, they just lost to South Carolina. I don't know why they're here. I guess because Miami lost the conference game to Syracuse, but I don't know. This is Miami didn't play Clemson. I don't think they played SMU either. Again, it's a small schedule. Then they'll play these, and then we'll have our bowl games. I hear them keep saying, "Oh, Alabama, they'll come in with it. Look at who they beat." Well, let's look at who they lost to. They lost to my Vanderbilt. They then lost to Tennessee, I believe, and they lost last week to, or no, the week before. Who they just to Oklahoma. So let's talk about who they lost to. You lost to fucking Oklahoma. So what's more important, your wins or your losses? I don't understand this. You lost 3 games to okay, Vanderbilt's okay, but they're not, and then you lose to Oklahoma, and you're a playoff team, and you get killed by Oklahoma, a team that doesn't even have 4 wins. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know how you judge it. I think the whole thing's just idiotic. Because I hope the loser of the Georgia-Texas game doesn't get screwed. Oh, well, you're in the playoff. Now you've lost 3 losses, so we're going to move Alabama ahead of you. Well, we're in the conference championship game. Why do we get penalized? I don't know why teams get penalized for that. Oh, well, you lost, so therefore you can't be in the playoff because you lost. It was a conference championship, and of course, it's a good team. Somebody's going to lose the game. But why should somebody jump them by not playing? So if Texas loses, they have 3. I don't know if they have 2 losses or not. Then how do you move Alabama ahead of Texas? Because Texas lost to Georgia twice. I think they only have 1 loss. They did kill Oklahoma. Anyway, yeah, BYU beat you. Yeah, I get that. So BYU lost Arizona State, and Arizona State killed Arizona. And they're in. See, that was sort of also a helping hand last week. Was Oregon was the revenge game to Washington, so I love that, especially at Oregon. But Arizona State, they lost like 52-0 to Arizona the year before, but they needed it for the playoff. I missed the Colorado game because Colorado needed it to maybe get to the playoff. And then Iowa State, Kansas State, I didn't want to fuck with that game, even though Iowa State needed it. And there was one other, but who was the 4th one? It was Iowa State, Arizona State, BYU. Yeah, but BYU won and still didn't go because Arizona State won. So, yeah, SMU, but they got a very good defense. The quarterback's good, Jennings. They're just a good team. They just roll everybody, and what was their score last week? It's tough because I don't know what to look Friday or Saturday. SMU. I know they played. Oh, they beat Cal 38-6. Cal's a very good team. They held them to 6. So I got at least 4 good plays there. I don't know how to really handicap Army and Tulane because Army scores more. They're more offensively. Tulane, though, just is always a good team, an A team. And they shut out Navy 34-0. So you're kind of like scratching your head with them. Then you remember Army Notre Dame, and you go, well, yeah, that Army didn't look too good there. You really haven't seen Tulane enough. I really got to study Tulane to see what they do. But anyway, So it's a very limited college. After this, then we'll have the bowls, and off it goes. And the playoffs. If Alabama's in the playoffs, I mean, I'm just going to bet against them. Then I guess that's all you can do is if they're in it, you just you just bet against them. Thank you. I don't know because they're not that good this year. Milrose sucks. I mean, how do you lose to Oklahoma 27-3 and get in the playoff? Uh, they're not good. They didn't win their division. I think Texas and Georgia should be in the playoff, and then it's either Ole Miss or Tennessee. Tennessee beat Alabama. I don't see how Alabama can get in. And Georgia's Georgia. Georgia got fucked last year. So that's football. So again, nice abbreviated college for me because normally I'm studying for 2-3 days to look at 60 games. And although I got it down to a science by the end, but that's what I'm looking for. That's how I do it. Like in the beginning, I don't know the teams. I'm blind to a lot of the teams. And in the end, I'm locking Texas State and North Texas. And what do we lock? We locked Kansas, Baylor over. Well, Baylor's always explosive. And Indiana, I'm laying 29 to Purdue and locking it, and it wins 66-0. Now that you could not see in the beginning of the year, but you could see it by the end of the year, and that's my point. I hope Indiana gets in. I don't know why Penn State jumped Indiana because Indiana has one loss. They both lost to Ohio State, so I don't get why Penn State's in the championship game instead of Indiana. Indiana would give Oregon a problem. Penn State won't. SMU is better quarterback than Clemson. They got a whole better team than Clemson. Their defense is better. Clemson has not showed me much this year, except for getting killed by Georgia, 34-3. Georgia's. Let's take that into account, will we? The beating Clemson. I'm not sure why Clemson's in this game. They've got 2 losses, I think. But anyway, that's I guess Miami losing to Syracuse is worse than Georgia, Clemson losing to Georgia and South Carolina. So they played 2 good teams and got killed they got beaten both games. And Miami, Georgia Tech should probably be in the playoff in this ACC thing. If King didn't get hurt, Georgia Tech would be in it. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So Luke wants to know what's up with gold. I don't understand the question. Nothing's up with gold. Gold's still being derivative. We're waiting for Russia to come out with gold-backed currency or BRICS. That'll be soon. See, if Putin lets the dollar go and everything and they're having inflation, he has an excuse to then introduce the gold-backed currency, which is what I believe he's doing. Now, as Daria said, prices are really high, going higher next week. Now, it's going to cause the panic. That's what hyperinflation is. When Daria panics, oh my God, the prices are going to go up. Now you understand gold. So what's up with gold is when the dollar goes out and people are panicking because they're trying to get off the Titanic to buy tuna fish and bread and milk. That's the point of it. Once that happens, now you understand gold. See, gold is getting off the Titanic. So phase 1 is you got to get off the boat. So you got to get off the dollar. You got to get off the euro. That's what gold is. Gold, this is about to all collapse. It's happening in Russia. We know it happened in Greece. It's happening in Turkey. It's happening in Zimbabwe and Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina, just to name a few. So it's happening. but you're not seeing that, or you're not getting it. That's where the dollars are collapsing. What do you think these people are going to do? Well, we'll come out with a new dollar. Venezuela, they don't even have food on their shelves because of the price controls. So you have idiots running these governments. So the dollar's going to fail because you can't keep printing it. They think you can just keep printing it, but then it keeps going to zero, and then everybody's fucked, which is what's happening basically, right? So with that being said, with that being said, that's why you have the gold. You're too worried about the price as if it's a stock. It's not a stock. It's money. It's gold. Do you worry about the Mickey Mantle card going up or the Rolex watch? So the Rolex watch is on auction for $200,000. Is the guy worried? Why isn't it 220? I mean, no. You have the value of the gold as the protection. Remember, first and foremost, it's the protection. Now it's going to go up, but it's not. It's going to, we need the catalyst of the Russians and BRICS going to the gold-backed currency, and then they'll need to raise the gold price higher. And as the U.S. goes out, they won't be able to keep the gold price down, and the demand for gold and silver are huge. So as these other countries, what do you think's happening in Russia? Anybody who has money is running and buying gold with it. All the oligarchs, Putin, all the rich people in Russia are buying gold or have already bought gold, so they're fine by this. Uh, Keep in mind all the governments are basically mafia. They're all basically stealing the money. They're all printing the money. It doesn't matter what country you are. They don't have gold because they can't print the money. So it's a little scheme where, oh, we'll print money. We'll have a central bank. And then they go and say, give me $20 million, give me $1 billion. And they print it. And then, but it hurts the value. But they can't figure that out because they're not smart. They're listening to the Keynesians saying, oh, we can just keep printing money. It's fine. We can't run out of money. We'll just keep printing it. Well, it's not about running out of money. It's about the value of the money. So you can see it happening. I don't know, Luke, if you expect this to be 5 days or a week or what. I mean, we do expect the gold-backed currency of Russia now in December. I don't know all the particulars, and maybe it's next week or the week after, but it's due sometime now. We know they're calling for at least $3,000 an ounce gold, if not $3,500 an ounce. And then everybody starts jumping in. So you got the rest of the world. You've got all these poor people in Brazil and Venezuela and Zimbabwe and now in Russia and all these countries, all these poor people. Well, they can't buy the gold, but the rich people can. The ones in control can. So they're all going to run to gold because their currency's shit. I guarantee you the guy in Venezuela, the mafia dictator is buying gold. He don't look like he's missing too many meals. So that's the point of gold. It's when the dollar collapses because these idiots running the countries don't understand you can't keep printing and they don't give a fuck. They just want to steal the money. That's why nobody's on the gold standard. That's it. The gold standard is the best thing there is for the public, for everybody. But the people running it are all corrupt and they don't give a fuck about us. So they sit there and they print it and print it and print it. And they don't know that it kills the value and then it goes to zero. Well, me and you know, hey, wait, gold, that'll save us. So that's why we're buying it as if we're the government or the bank or whatever. We're kind of behind the scenes on their side, not on their side, but doing what they're doing, which is buying gold to protect ourselves when the dollar collapses. And don't kid yourself, it's collapsing everywhere. So it's just a matter of time till it collapses here, and just a matter of time till the BRICS go on a gold-backed currency. Because as their currencies go out, India's at 88 to 1. They're gone. The ruble is 106 to 1. It's kind of gone, but they got all the gold. Now China's at 7 to 1. I don't know why. It should be far worse. They have massive unemployment, people on the streets. Everybody moved out, so I don't know how China's staying, but they have 60,000 tons of gold, so that's their excuse. But everybody else is all in. Germany's in trouble and England's in trouble. They're all going bankrupt because they keep printing the money. That's the key, is you've got to get off the Titanic so you get on the lifeboat. In our situation, the lifeboat's gold. So I don't know your question, Luke. It's what's up with gold? Nothing's up with gold. It's crystal clear. It's the place to be. It's you Rumpelstiltskin in the gold and you stay there. That's all it is. I mean, I don't really get what the problem is. It's not a stock. And because Bitcoin's up, it's not Bitcoin. It's controlled. You know that. It's derivatives. It's JP Morgan. We know that. But it is a tier 1 and it is Basel 3. And now they got to take delivery. And apparently they're way behind in the delivery. And so they're going to have to buy it and push the price up because they're going to have to buy it at market because you can't buy it with these derivatives. And who are you going to buy it from? China and Russia. And they're not going to give you a break on it. So that's really the thing. So there's nothing wrong with gold. They nobody can print it. That's the beauty of it. You can't inflate it. You can't print it. And but I was listening to Bill O'Reilly. He seems to think, well, the problem in Greece is they ran out of dollars. How the fuck can you run out? You've got the printing presses. Every country has the printing press for them, for their own money. So don't tell me they ran out of money. What are you, insane? The gold miners are sore at the price of gold. Hey, Luke, you still want to be in stocks? No, they won't. It just forget about the gold miner. Just buy the gold coins. I don't know why it's so difficult for you. I guess maybe it's your 401k and you don't want to sell it. So you go into the gold miners. They're not going to soar. Nobody's going to be buying stocks. They're going to be dumping stocks. When Saudi Arabia pulls $100 billion out of the stock market, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to go up or down. Supply and demand, and when demand when there's more sellers than buyers, the price goes down. It's an auction house. Wall Street's the biggest Ponzi of them all, and when they dump it, it's going to go down. You've seen these Black Mondays in 1980, 2004, 2000, and 2020, whatever the fuck it was, and it's a bloodbath. It's because of the inflation. And people don't want to hold U.S. dollars. Nobody wants to hold all the central. So why are all the central banks selling their dollars for gold if the dollar was so good? And then I take you to why aren't they buying Bitcoin? Well, we already got that argument. So the miners in a normal world would go up, but not now. This is not a normal world, and nobody wants to buy stocks. Did they go up in 1929? The market went from 290 to 29. Did the gold stocks go up? I doubt it. I don't think anything went up. However, within a short time, by March, the market was back to 275. So why they did the Tariff Act, that was to get taxes, but it backfired, as it will, as Trump will find out. That'll be the final nail in the coffin if he does tariffs. Because that'll be, that won't be good. Anyway, so there's nothing wrong with gold. It's a beautiful thing. It's very limited and can't be printed. What else could you ask for? So don't worry about the derivative price. I mean, it's already gone from 1,700 to 26. It's just sitting at 26. But if the U.S. has to start buying because they have to deliver the gold to China based on Basel III, then here they go. I mean, then that's going to jack the price because I'll have to buy a lot of gold on the market at market prices, and then it'll move to 2,900, 3,000. We're expecting 3,000 by the end of the year, 3,500 first quarter. So just relax. It's not like the dollar's getting any stronger. There's only 160 trillion, and they're already worthless, right? Everything is worthless. Look at like the ruble. All of a sudden, what, can't Putin stop the ruble from going down? No. They're is worried, oh, the prices will be more expensive. But they don't. There's nothing Putin can do to stop the inflation, except backing the money by gold. That will stop the inflation because gold is value. That's what we need to do, but we don't have any gold, so we're fucked here. So that's why me and you in our class, our field trip is to go to the gold store and buy gold. But if they want to keep the price down for us, we'll take it. We'll buy more. We'll buy more. But you don't have enough. You don't have enough gold. If you have money, get rid of it. Rumpelstiltskin it to gold. If you don't have if you have like too much money, more than a couple months of expense, if you have that, you got to dump it and buy gold. And as I told a guy at work today, I says, well, the worst case that happens is, okay, you got 100 grand and you get 90,000 in gold. You buy 90,000 coins, not jewelry. I says, and the worst thing that happens is, oh, you need a few dollars to pay a bill. You sell an ounce of gold and you get $2,700 and you pay off your bill. I mean, you're not spending a dollar. I mean, maybe this is the simplest way. If I spend this on gold and now I have an ounce of gold, I'll use my gold chip. So now I've sold this for this. What's my value, my net worth? It's still one, right? It didn't go, I didn't spend this and now this is zero. And I've spent the one, but now this is worth zero. I'm not going to dinner. I'm not buying clothes. I'm buying gold. So this is a trade. I'm trading this for this. This is worth more than this shortly because this keeps losing value and this keeps going up. So it's a very simple thing. It's why keep your money in dollars when at worst case now, okay, 5 months down the road, I need money, but I don't have it. I've got gold now. Okay, I go back to the store, say, give me, and I probably get $2 for it. So give me my $2, and then I have this because I need to pay a bill or something. I mean, that's it. As long as you're working, you really don't need much in savings because your paycheck's going to handle it. I mean, that's what I'm kind of noticing now. It's like, oh, good, I get paid. I can buy more gold because I don't really need to keep too much money in the safe because now I'm getting paychecks in. So I don't need to. That was my rainy day fund when I'm not working. But now that I'm working, I don't need anything in the safe really, but I'm very conservative. So I'm going to keep some for the rainy day. How long am I going to work here? I hope for a couple of years, but you just don't know. We'll see what happens. We know the economy sucks and we know the inflation's strong. So how long can we trust the job? So therefore we take the paychecks and say thank you. And then we simply buy as much gold now as we can. And then we see how long the businesses stay open and the inflation, because in Russia, the businesses will start closing. They can raise the prices, but the people, so Daria, what's she going to do when she goes to the grocery store? There's a lot of shit she won't be able to buy because she won't be able to afford it. Russia's not understanding Austrian economics. Well, we're going to raise our prices next week. No, you can't. What if people won't buy? I mean, if people don't buy, they can't raise their price. It's as simple as this. So you see New York strips for $20 a pound. They're not being sold. I just bought some Thanksgiving at $10.99 because that's what they could do, right? They couldn't sell them at 20. They had crab legs at $50 a pound. I laughed at the guy. I says, you'll never sell these. Now they were like $9.99. I go, yeah, that's the market for them. Plus, people don't have as much money, so therefore, if they don't have as much money, they can't handle price increases. And that's here in Russia. They definitely can't. Their heating probably went up. It's cold. It's winter. I'm glad I just got Daria some clothes, so she's fine with those. And I asked her for rent went up, but I don't know. Hopefully not. Then it's just the food issue. When are the derivatives going to blow? Um, well, the gold ones will blow pretty soon. The silver one, not, because they're still not a tier one. It's not a tier one object, which is real money. So gold is like a T-bill, but not silver. Even though silver's money, they didn't make it like Basel III compliant. That's what's holding silver up. And they're making money on these stupid derivatives. So when you see a silver at $30, you just laugh and smile and buy more and wait till it goes to 1,000 an ounce, because it will, just because of the demand for it. Anytime you have high demand with low supply, the price has to go up. So it'll blow up this whole derivative thing, and that's what'll happen. Hey G, how you doing? Uh, when is the gold going to buy me a house? Well, when the dollar goes out. You gotta wait for the dollar to go out. You can't force it. Um, you can probably buy a cheap house in Russia now, as the ruble is worthless. See, what's happening there is it's not the dollar, it's not the ruble going up. It's the value of the ruble going down. So it takes more rubles to go to the grocery store. So it's not like prices are going up, even though that's what it looks like. That's the Ponzi. It's not dollars going up in the Russian grocery store. It's the ruble has lost its value. That's what's happening, but they won't say it because then the government looks like idiots, which they are. It will have to be a revaluation. Well, that's as soon as they do the gold backed currency, they won't. There's too many people to do it at $2,800 an ounce. So I would expect them to go up to 5,000 or so when they announce it, because when a gold backed currency means I can go to the bank and give me gold for my $100 bill. I want $100 in gold, and they have to have it. So you can't print more, but then you need the gold to be worth a lot more, because you can only print. How many people in India and China are there? They need probably $10,000 gold to make enough money to give out to all the people, all the citizens. It's funny how people think, well, there's not enough gold coins to carry around. It's like, idiot. It won't be coin. A gold backed currency will still be this. It'll just be some gold on it. It'll say it's gold. It's backed by gold, instead of the fucking Federal Reserve backing this, right? The Federal Reserve, legal tender. Yeah. So instead of the Federal Reserve backing it, it's gold backing it. And that's all that it'll be. So it'll still be dollars, but you'll need a much higher gold price because there's not that much gold. So gold price needs to go up. That's all you do. Um, but the politicians are so scared to do it. It's crazy. But it's coming soon, Luke. It's very soon. You've got, like I said, if Russia's going broke and Russia's got 20,000 tons of gold, they're gonna use that, right? They're using it probably for the war. That's why they want to end the war, because wars are expensive. And eventually that's how all wars end. It's too expensive. They don't have the money becomes worthless, right? The Nazis, the money was worth that. That's why they went into Russia. They needed the oil, and they needed land and food and everything. And Russia, and we see how fertile Ukraine is. So Germany took that and went for the oil fields, and the Arctic, or whatever, the Baltic waterways, Norway and Sweden and everything. So that's why Germany went. They were running out of money. They ran out of oil. They ran out of supplies. So that's why they invaded Russia, was for all that. They just thought they could go grab it, or maybe they made a deal with Stalin and then he reneged on it. I mean, who knows what happened? But Hitler lost the track of the point was to get the oil in the all the right fields that the Ukraine is known for. And instead of doing that, he decided, oh, there's Stalingrad. We'll take it in 20 minutes. And he should have, but Putin or Stalin was killing the people if they left. I mean, talk about ruthless leaders. Oh, you leave Stalingrad? Yeah, we're going to kill you. If they don't kill you, we're going to kill you. So they had to stay and fight because they were getting killed from both sides. Not a pleasant sight, but that's what happened. So wars are expensive. That's why they want to end it. Putin's showing off his missiles. He's got the gold, so I guess he can do it. The U.S. has no money. Where are we getting this other $100 billion to give to Zelensky, to give to the defense contractors? Where's that money coming from? We don't have it. We have to print it. What the fuck? So I don't get it. It's all going, but everything, it's just a matter of, a little bit more, and then the gold will jump, and then BRICS will come out with the gold-backed currency, and that's it. It's getting near the boiling point. You can see that. Trump coming in is not going to help with the tariffs, and we're going to tariff. If you de-dollarize, we're going to tariff you, and they're laughing, going, who cares? Your money is worthless anyway. Why do we care? We don't want to do business with you because you're paying us in dog shit. This is worthless. So if this is worthless, do I really want you as a customer? And unless you can do what I do and take it and turn it into gold, then if I can't turn it into gold, I don't know that I would take dollars. I would probably say I want ounces of silver to pay for Teaserking. But as long as I can get it and go buy it, I'll take dollars. But at the end of the day, I'm buying gold and silver with it. Anyway, so that's what's happening. It's, the shit's hitting the fan. So we're getting down to the end in college. We got the bowl games coming up a couple, 2-3 weeks. Although who knows who plays? It's so frustrating. Like Michigan, they beat Ohio State. They're going to be in a bowl. Is anybody going to play? After doing what they did to Ohio State, is anybody going to play in the bowl game? Or was that all for naught and everybody risked injury for naught? I mean, that's what kills me. So you'll play against Ohio State, but in the bowl game, which is more, just fun, you don't play because you don't want to get hurt. Then don't play football. Go play tennis. You won't get hurt in tennis. Anyway, so I guess that's about it. I see 4 plays in college right now. Pros, I got to really study it. A lot of my teams aren't playing. That's what I hate about the buys. I don't have Denver. I don't have the Baltimore over. College, I don't have Kansas. That's what I hate about this week. I don't have Kansas. I don't have a lot of the teams I like to bet on. Baylor and Texas Tech, they're not there. So you're stuck with just Arizona State and Iowa State, the 2 teams you really struggle picking. Anyway, that's about it. So again, buy your gold, buy your silver. We'll enjoy the weekend in football. And that's about it. Till Thursday, we got the Lions and Green Bay at home. Lions with their whole defense beaten up. It's not next man up. Because they're not the same. If Tom Brady goes down, you can't say the next man up. Well, the next man up ain't Tom Brady or Mahomes or any of those guys. So you're fucked with that. So that's what you need to understand. So any other questions, comments? G? I hope you made money this week, G. Hell, if you couldn't make money this week, I don't know. Christmas came. I was 13-1 and I think 7-9 13-1 and 9-2. I'm 22-3 this week. Can't make money. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I think that's it. I'm a little tired, so I'll be on tomorrow, Thursday's games. And then we got the college, a couple Fridays, a couple Saturdays, and then the Sundays. Good night, Luke. Have a good night. Getting ready for Christmas, I guess. I'm not going anywhere, I don't think. I might go to Vegas, but I haven't decided yet. And that's about it. Bobby was on the other day, Luke. He was on Sunday, I think. Because we had LSU over Oklahoma. What an easy game that was. Oklahoma beats Alabama sky high. You know they're going to be flat. LSU beats them. And it wasn't surprising. I mean, that's how much easier can a football pick get? So anyway. All right. That's it. www.teaserking.com, and we will see what happens. And have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. I had to stop at the grocery store tonight. I ran out of food because Thanksgiving I kind of ate a lot more, and then back to work. So I stocked up on my veggies. All right, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Rumpelstiltskin, everybody. Take your dollars, buy gold with it. You can't lose.